Welcome to SMR Summer Network. Everything on this network is custom for you, and know that we love you. That's why we have a heart. Thanks for watching. We love you.
That yummy, that yummy, that yummy, yummy. Yeah, you got that yummy, that yummy, that yummy, yummy. Say the word on my way, yeah, babe, yeah, babe, yeah, babe. Any night, that yummy, that yummy, yummy. Yeah, you got that yummy, that yummy, that yummy, yummy. Say the word on my way, yeah, babe, yeah, babe, yeah, babe. Any night, say the word on my way, yeah, babe, yeah, babe, yeah, babe. In the morning or late, say the word on my way. Bonafide stallion, ain't no stable, no, you stay on the run. Ain't on the side, you're number one. Yeah, every time I come around, you get it done. 50-50, love the way you split it. 100 racks on me, spin it, babe. Light a match, get lit, babe. That jet set, watch the sunset, kinda. Yeah, yeah. Rolling eyes back in my head, make my toes curl, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you got that yummy, that yummy, that yummy, yummy. Yeah, you got that yummy, that yummy, that yummy, yummy. Say the word on my way, yeah, babe, yeah, babe, yeah, babe. Any night, say the word on my way, yeah, babe, yeah, babe, yeah, babe. Yeah, babe, yeah, babe. In the morning or late.
You listen to the Express Yourself. I am your host, Dr. Rosie Milligan, coming to you live as always. You know how we do it around here, folks. It's nothing but straight talk up in here. My co-host is the Invisible Man. You guys know who I'm talking about, Mr. Keith Swanson. People been looking for him. I think it's almost 2 years now. They say, I don't think Keith exists. I said, yes, he does. So for the last year, we've had kind of a little hunt out for him. We said, if anybody catch Keith, you know his voice, run up and grab him, hold him and give me a call. Folks, hurry up and do that because the pot of money is really building. Time you
Walking
guys
right
just
next to some
listen.
people.
Listen for us. Come on, Keith. I talk a little bit so they can maybe they
Oh
haven't
yeah,
gotten the
stand
voice
right
yet.
next to him, and they said, "Do I know you from somewhere?" I said, "No, not really."
They should have just grabbed you and
hmm
called me. You guys missing the money. The pot is building up. But Keith, how you been doing these last days?
I have been doing well, Dr. Rosie. How
Well,
about yourself? I know you've been busy. So,
I've been busy. I've been busy. You know, there's so much going on, Keith. I tell you, I don't know. I've been stocking up on water, keeping my gas tank
ooh,
full,
oh yeah,
making
well,
sure I have a penny at the house. Cause
oh,
I don't know,
you
little,
better tighten
little
up the.
Korea and everybody else. It look like everybody want to start something around here.
Oh, you don't even know the half of it, Dr. Rosie. One day we have to talk offline about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't want to get the stream shut down by talking about it.
Okay, I know what you at City
Mhm.
Hall.
Oh,
City
City Hall.
councilman, they
Oh yeah.
going crazy. Ooh, Lord, how much? So what is the world coming
And
to? We better.
they're getting real relaxed with it. They've always felt that way. They're just getting relaxed. They think they can say it openly now.
Wow, wow. Well, I tell you what. It's going to be really, really interesting, you guys, as to what's going to be going down over here. So I think the best thing anybody can do right now for yourself is find you a lover. Find you somebody to love you. That's what needs to be your next
It
best
sounds
step.
like Stevie Wonder's song. Love is in
Amen.
need of love
Amen.
today,
I
huh?
can chime in on that.
Find somebody who loves you,
Love is
baby.
in need of love today, huh?
Find somebody who loves you. I think that's going to be the best thing we can do these last days because everything else is off the chain, okay?
hmm
Kids off the chain, the
hmm
school's off the chain. You better find somebody to hold. That's all I can say.
Coming
But,
apart at the seams. Yeah.
well, anyway, you guys, we have a great show for you today. Someone I've known for a long time. She's an author. She's just extraordinary, very compassionate person. She's someone who loves and cares for people, and she believes in finding ways to heal yourself or else. My guest is none other than Miss Trudy Harper Hill. She's a polygamist. And I tried to say farming. She said, no, I still, I had written up
Got me choking.
trying to be nice. She's a farmer. She said, no, baby. I was
A
born
lifelong, huh?
I was born a polygamist. And she's the author of her book coming out, The Planet Kindness, A Global Rebirth. I think she may need to rename that title if we get through talking today. But anyway, our guests would share with us reason such relationship as, a polygamous relationship, why it will work and the reason it will not work. The question is this for me. Why do women accept a chick on the side while frowning, turning their nose up when you talk about polygamy? Keep something wrong with that picture. It's time to get real about our needs and wants. So you can call in today if you ain't scared. You can call in and express yourself because we're going to be talking with Miss Trudy Harper Hill. Our topic is, will polygamous relationship help solve some of the ills of Black America? I think so, but I hope he's not Keith. I'm getting ready to get put out to church again. I know they ain't going to let me in now.
Oh, they let you in? I thought they put you out months ago.
One finally let me back in. They said I've been nice for a while. They haven't heard me talking crap. I said, okay. So I guess we'll put you back in on trial. But Lord, I hope don't nobody call the pastors and tell them on today.
Oh,
don't y'all call your pastors. Don't you call them. I mean, I at least need to get in there on first Sunday and get my wine.
Oh.
Okay, Miss Trudy Harper, how are you today? And first, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rosie, and thank you to the listeners. I'm very well, and this is sort of surreal for me because, like you said, I'm a lifelong polygamist. This is something that I have wanted since I was in my early 20s, but I did not know any Black folks who were doing polygamy. I could only find, they didn't have the internet back then. I could only find the Amish and another kind of community, the Quakers. And, that wasn't for me. But yeah, I strongly believe in the big family unit. And so it's sort of surreal for me to talk about this because this is part of my mission in life. It's to find ways to go back to childhood when we had to share. You remember that? We had to share.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just really interesting as I've unpacked, years of trauma from my own life in my own process of evolving, that I'm back to childhood. And so I think that, first of all, let me preface what I'm going to say, that I'm not a relationship expert, but I am an expert on myself. And one of the commandments of our ancient ancestors was to know thyself. So I think that if we start from that premise that we need to know ourselves and be healthy with ourselves before we start trying to get into these relationships and these marriages and then micromanage the other person and what the other person is doing. Because I was really good for that. I've been married 3 times. For the last 30 years, I've been married. And how I begin my marriages is by asking the men, do you want to have more than one person? Is there anybody else that you love? Because I don't like drama. And, each husband said, no. I said, nobody? I mean, we weren't spring chickens. So I was like, there's nobody that you have love or that you want to be in the relationship with us. They all said no. And, I ended up sharing each husband with different women, and that was never a problem for me because I'm not jealous or possessive by nature. But, baby, you get me into a monogamous relationship and somebody has told me that it's just going to be me, and that's where the problems began. So, with that being said, we got to be truthful. Like you were saying, Dr. Rosie, we got to be honest about what our needs and wants are. I'm monogamous. I am a one-man woman. And the other part of that is like a lot of us are in such a hurry to not be alone and to have somebody else validate us that we end up with the wrong people. When God has plans, the universe, whatever you call God, source, the universe, the Most High, Jehovah, whatever you call God, there are contracts, there are soul ties that we have with people who are meant to be with us so that things can be in harmony and in alignment and fruitful. And we're rushing to be with people. Some of us are just so horny or so lonely or so whatever that we get with the wrong people. And, you know, all hell breaks loose when you're not equally yoked. So I got a lot to say.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned sharing. Right, we really got away from that because I remember when my kids was growing up, we had one television. It was in the den. Wasn't a TV in the living room or in the bedroom. So they had to share. They had to compromise. If one wanted to watch a show, then they would all list what they wanted to watch. And if the other one didn't want to watch it at that time, they could go to bed or read a book. But they learned to share. So we're getting away from sharing. Everybody have their own television, even their own refrigerator in that room. So sharing is so far from our minds, you know. But like you said, people are not honest in relationships, you know. And the question have been asked so many times, and I'll ask you, and I'll ask Keith and Shawana. Do you believe that a person can love more than one person at the same time?
Yes, absolutely. I'm experiencing that now. I personally cannot, but again, we got to know ourselves. And because I personally, like all three of my husbands and my twin flame are alpha men, and this is what I really want to make this really clear, alpha men, those men who are leaders, those men who will take initiative, who typically are very confident, charismatic, those men, they not only like other women, women love them. Not only do women love them, but they got other women. If it's a younger alpha male, perhaps maybe, or somebody who's, you know, in the church, who's really striving to stay in alignment with what we've been programmed to believe, that you have to have one woman, then maybe they don't have other women, but baby, believe me, they are tempted to get that other woman. So in order for us to heal these relationships, we've got to set these men free. And just personally, you know, I do feel like men are very comfortable talking with me. I have brothers, my ex-husbands, they talk to me because I create a space for them to really be honest. And once they're honest, it's not that, okay, they're honest and our feelings get hurt and then we withhold sex. You know, men they need sex, they need food, they need certain things. So, and then we wonder, like they're traveling off to different race women who are more tolerant or who have a different background, or even like really younger women who might not have been hurt as much or traumatized and aren't angry, where they can like unpack and relax and be themselves.
What you said, black men need to be able to unpack. And when you said set them free, do you mean give them the freedom to love who they want to love as long as they're treating you the way you want to be treated? Let's put some boundaries there. But let me hold that thought because we have a caller. Let's take a call. Remember, Shawana, when I come back for us to deal with that question, okay? Okay, go ahead. We have a call on 213. 213.